sometimes you want to take a photo or film with something in situ, so just where you're working on it, but even then you need to think about the lighting. The lighting isn't great here. I'm struggling to get this staying in focus because I'm just using the lights on the ceiling. So you need to think about lighting, but also thinking about whether there's any distractions in shot, things that you don't necessarily want in shot. Are you framing it how you want it? But other than that, having photos of things in situ can work really well. If I film or take a photo on my light box on the black background, again the colours look very different and the lighting is way more even compared to when it was just in situ. These are called photography boards or photo boards, and they are lifelike textures, photographs of textures, normally on like a plastic or foam board. They come in a range of price points, normally depending on how realistic the image is. They're quite useful if you want to give the style of something but be able to move where you're photographing. So for example, if I wanted the photo to look as if I'd taken it in situ in my workshop, but I wanted the control of lighting, I could use something like a photo board in a controlled setup, either in my light box or maybe in the kitchen table with additional lights, wherever I want to do it, but the photo would look as if it was taken in my studio. So for example, I've got this one, which is quite close to the colours of my worktops. So sometimes I use this if I'm taking videos pointing straight down, maybe of hands working and things like that. Photo boards tend to be a bit big and bulky and a bit more of an investment. So if you want to get a similar look but a lot cheaper and easier to store, you can just get craft papers. So these ones were from the Works. They cost £2 for a big book. But as you can see, very similar. So for me, these are great. I take them when I'm doing workshops at other venues. And then at the end of the workshop, if I want to photograph students' work, I've got a choice of backgrounds that I can stick their jewellery on and then take a close-up picture, and it looks as if it's on a nice textured background rather than maybe a school table or something less inspiring. So again, there's options. You can get these in a whole host of colours and patterns and sizes. You can get them much cheaper than this as well. Found surfaces are quite popular as backgrounds, so this is my work desk, but this is a piece of copper sheet and this is a flagstone from my garden. So these are in my studio because I use them to work off of. This is normally my soldering setup and this just helps protect the bench when I've got the blowtorch on. But you can use stuff like this, like I say, as controlled backgrounds, either by bringing it in somewhere where you can control the lighting, or more often than not, people just take the thing they're photographing outdoors and put it onto the found surface that they want to use. For example, it might be floorboards, it might be fabric, textiles, walls and doors. If you have a look around, you'll find a whole host of things that you can use as backgrounds. Over here I've got a block of wood that I stained. We might want to take photos in shelving. Photos on shelving has its own hashtag called shelfies, if anyone wants to check that out. Sometimes you use tools as a background, or plain walls.